So there's got to be some great questions out there. Who wants to start? You guys are bashful, and then you start really moving. Buzz.
I don't want to hear bashful comments.
You mentioned that the funding comes principally from your members.
Yes.
So what percentage of your funding comes from industry members, and how does that affect what you do and how you do it?
Well, we are an industry initiative. This was created by companies for companies. So the funding comes 100, I would say 100% almost from our members. So like any certification scheme, you pay to have the service of, you know, receiving the program requirements. You need to contract with an external verifier. So that's how it works, really. And I mean, how it influences what we do. I'm not trying to say that we're not the industry. That's not true. We are the industry. I mean, this is a new approach. What we're trying to do is to be a neutral ground where we can still talk to each other, even if we disagree on grand issues. And I have a very good example for that. On the West Coast, for example, you've heard about Kinder Morgan, maybe, and the pipelines. It's more of an issue on the Canadian side, okay? They're a Green Marine participant. Their terminal is certified. But we also have Georgia Strait Alliance, which is an environmental group, fiercely opposed to any pipeline and oil terminal project. But they are still a supporter of Green Marine, both of them. But we don't, of course, in Green Marine, we agree that there are these issues out there. We're not taking position, and I mean, each side has valid points of view, but can we still work on some of the other stuff that we can still improve? That's what behind Green Marine. That's our, yeah.
Good morning. Good afternoon. If a community, okay, so environmental indicators. The community had a concern about environmental indicator that maybe you do not have as one of your measured. Could we approach you and discuss if there's a possibility we can get it as one of your indicators and take it from there?
Yes, you know, the way it works, we have a 3-year plan of program development. So we have 3 advisory committees. So that means a lot of different environmental groups there with government agencies and academics and companies. And so those committees, they review the program every year. And they decide the order of priority, because we cannot work on everything at the same time. I remind you that we're a small team of 6 people at the Secretariat. So really the decision on what comes first comes from those committees. A group like Save the River, for example, would be welcome to be a standing member on one of our committees, so that would work. But even if you're not there, you can certainly contact the Secretariat to make a proposal about something else that should be addressed in the program, and it will be presented to the advisory committees.
I'm a volunteer for the St. Louis River Protection Network in Canada.
Oh, you're from Canada. Okay.
So we'll talk.
Certainly, certainly.
What is the smallest facility that you deal with?
The
Why I'm saying that is that in the Great Lakes, Scouts really need to be able to go to all the big harbors and all of those, but that's not where the real sensitive ones are going to be in the future. I'm thinking of a place like
why we have very small ports in the program. We have those gigantic ports, Seattle, Vancouver, Port Everglades, but we have the tiny ones too. I mean, Port of Monroe, Port of Windsor. I mean, they have a staff of 3 people. Port of Saguenay, Port of Valleyfield. This program was made to move the industry ahead. I mean, the entire industry. That was the intention. Initially, we could have decided to create like a superstar program that the Port of Vancouver can score 5 stars on every issues and be the best. But then that would discourage everybody else. I mean, that was not the intention at all. So that's why we have only one certified logo. We don't have this ranking of bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Nobody wants to be bronze, so that's something I learned.
I see that there is a ranking system that will take place for each company.
Yes.
And does the actual word green certified get tagged at some point? Like you have to have a minimum score of something to be green certified, or just be a member?
Yes, you need to have, well, first of all program requirements are beyond regulation. So that's the first thing. If you want to be certified, and level 1 is basically regulation. The first time you get certified, you need to be level 2 in at least one performance indicator. After that, there's a minimum improvement requirement. You need to get to level 2 on every performance indicator eventually. So it means that every year you need to make an improvement somewhere. So we're not asking all participants to get to level 5. I mean, some of these very small ports will never get to level 5. But level 2, that's the way we communicate it. Level 2 is great. They're already doing all this stuff that they're not obligated to be doing by regulation.
And is there some way that consumers can reward those that are achieving higher scores? Because we don't know what they carry. And really, I mean, it's, how do consumers or NGOs or anybody else actually give our blessing to the people that are trying hardest?
By becoming a supporter. For an organization like an NGO, becoming a Green Marine supporter, that counts a lot. Because, you know, when these companies join Green Marine and they get certified, they go through all of this process, and it takes some time and human resources, you know, to do all the process. They don't get a discount at the end because they are greener, okay? The only thing they get is to be recognized. So as a social license program, that's what it is. We've been trying over the years, like for shipping companies, the ship owners, if they could get some discount when they go to a port that is Green Marine certified on port fees, but the ports don't like that plan very well. So for now, it's mostly recognition.
Thank you.
One more, I think probably everybody's ready for lunch. One more question? We got to let the board presidents move on.
Do you find that there's a disparity in the management of the program from the east to the west coast? I'll back it up a little bit. Pac Northwest, even in the early 90s, those folks were exceptionally tuned into things that went into the sound. The shipping ports, the shipyards, they were all very, very keen on the environment. And then during that same period of time in the early 90s, say down in the south, I saw one of the ports of Port Everglades. There were things being washed off the pier into the Gulf that were somebody else's problem as soon as it hit the stream. So there was a huge disparity in the importance. Does that overlap in this, or is this more of a, does this level the playing field? Like you're using the same criteria?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we use the same criteria all over the place, but it is an issue. Priorities are not the same in different regions. On the West Coast, air emissions, air emissions, air emissions, and it's always about air emissions. You go to the Gulf of Mexico, they don't even think it's a problem. They would like to focus more on water quality. So we have an act of balance to do. To have a program that is, you know, relevant to everybody. One of the solutions to that would be to have maybe a core set of performance indicators for everybody, and maybe some regional performance indicators depending on the region. So.
Does one draw all the other to that level? Do you see the West, the different ways of doing it, kind of cross-pollinating to the other coasts, to the other ports?
Yes, definitely. Especially on our new performance indicators on underwater noise, everything that has to do with whales, and this came from the West Coast. Why we're addressing this? Because of World Wildlife Fund being on our advisory committees and the companies on the West Coast, where it's such an important issue. And it's a very good thing because a lot of people in the East had not realized it, but it is an issue in the East as well, even if it was not as much on the radar screen as it should have been.